Wes Goldberg, Bay Area News Group.
Hey, Bob. To circle back to some of the things you said about needing to add some veteran help, I mean, is there what specific team needs do you think you guys have, and what kind of veterans would you like to get in free agency?
It's the ones that have kind of done it before, Wes, maybe been in playoff series. Not to say that Juan and Jordan and even Wiggins, I think, showed that they're capable in those bigger moments. I mean, that's the thing about having, even though we didn't make the playoffs, I think we had some meaningful games at the end. And that's when you really find out about a team and a specific player. But it's guys that maybe can stretch the floor, maybe a shooting big, maybe a playmaking guard. Our defense, I think, finished 5th. Maybe some more offensive-minded guys. Maybe some guys that, like I said, the shooting is interesting because with Bazemore, and hopefully we'll get him back, but with Juan and even Jordan and Mulder, we had some decent shooting, but you can always use more. And but with Draymond anchoring the defense, it's hard not to have a really good defense. And I think Looney's a great defender, and Steph doesn't get enough credit for his defense, and Wiggins too. I really like our defense, but offensively, you saw too how Steph was being guarded. It's not fair to him almost. One guy can't do that much. It's a compliment to him, clearly, that he got the attention he got, but that's very hard and a lot to ask of him to shoulder that burden by himself. So we need to help him on the offensive side a little bit.
Kareth Burke, NBC Sports.
Thanks. I just want to build on the urgency topic again. Getting to championship form, patience, would you say, Steph and Draymond showed this season? And how much longer might that patience extend, considering everyone wants to capitalize on their primes?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they both are aware that I suppose, I think, or at least I know in my conversations with them, they know we want to win. I think we've earned that trust over the time with them. And they know we'll do everything we can. And clearly with what our owner has spent, I think it's obvious he wants to win too. But how do you accomplish that, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of players in the NBA that want to feel like they're getting the most they can out of their roster, and those guys do too. But it's not contentious. It's not, you should have done this or that, or we need to do this. I don't like this. Met with Steph for an hour on Saturday, met with Draymond for just an hour and a half just now. It's really, Kareth, when you've been lucky enough to do what we've been able to do, you don't rest on your laurels, but you do have equity in those relationships. It's like working with someone for 10 years. If anything is meaningful, you're going to succeed together and you're going to fail together. Those guys have, you can call this year whatever you want, but we've had some great success. We've had some great disappointment, but everybody's competitive. Everybody wants to win. And the point is that as long as they feel like we're all trying to do that, then everybody's okay. I've never had a conversation with either of those guys, even in the last 2 days, where they've said to me, you better do this, or we should have done that. That's just not how the relationship works. But at the same time, I may initiate it and say, maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have done that. And that's why you get a situation where you have the same players in an organization, which is almost impossible now to keep a guy like Steph for 10 or 12, 15 years, or Draymond or Clay. They all want to leave or do leave. So that's a testament to kind of going through it with somebody. But it doesn't mean anybody's happy right now. We don't want to be sitting here watching the playoffs.
Marcus Thompson.
Bob, you've had a number of these young guys for a couple of years now. I count 6 of them that's been with you 2 years. They haven't played with Clay, but have you seen enough of these young guys that you have on the roster to be able to decide on them? And do you anticipate a lot of turnover?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, Marcus, when's enough? When have you seen a guy enough? Because especially now, guys are coming out so young. It's really about what can you expect from that guy, right? I think that's the part we have to figure out as a front office and coaching staff, being realistic about this guy may be good, but when? And what's realistic to expect from that player? So if the guy's 28, like Juan is, maybe if Juan was 22, we would have cut him or not been on the team. But he's finding his way through going to the Mexican League and figuring it out in an older age. So it's really about where we are, how many of those guys you can have. You don't want to have a team with none of them, but you also don't want a team with 6 of them, 7 of them, 8 of them, or you at least want to build in some veterans. So I think we got to sit down in the next few days and weeks, find out what our pick is, and then decide if we can add 4 vets, if we can add 3, what does that mean? And make those decisions in the next couple months.